Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time.
As always, we want to give a shout out to our feral venerator of Soirain, Lurks, for supporting us on Patreon. So, we've spent a lot of time talking about queering the heroes in the Wheel of Time, and we've had discussions in games, shipping heroes with the Forsaken, but our favorite group of baddies doesn't really need romance with our heroes to be queer, so welcome to part 1 of a new sporadic series of episodes where we take deep dives into queering each of the Forsaken. In this episode, we're going to discuss the OG crazy ex-girlfriend Lanfear and our problematic fave, Balthamel.
This is gonna be fun.
I am excited.
Yeah, I think it's I had not really thought much about Lanfear in a queer context until we started working on the Side-R-Siding episode. And I think what's really got me interested in her is figuring out why she actually got involved in the boar and digging into that. And it's like, oh yeah, gender norms sucks. Why do we have a power that is weaker than the men's? Can we have a source of power that can be used for everyone? So now I'm like, yeah, would it be that much of a stretch to have Lanfear being like, fuck gender norms?
Yeah. I mean, I think if anything, it makes more sense for Lanfear as a character to be queer. Like, I feel like that, and thinking of her that way, it just, I don't know, it fits better.
I mean, she gives off, strong lesbian researcher vibes. Very Kate McKinnon in Ghostbusters type of thing.
Oh.
That is an energy. Wow.
She's the most beautiful woman in the world, so it would be very homophobic for her not to be queer.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I don't make the rules.
Actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, you don't make the rules. You're just enforcing them.
Yeah, exactly.
And deprive people?
And not only is she the most beautiful person in the world, she's also an academic, which means, we're already, pushing the envelope of reality. So let's have everything. Let's put all of our baskets into this egg.
Let's put all of our baskets into this egg.
Put all of our baskets into this egg. Perfect.
I'm not sure that's how it works.
No, I think that's how it goes. I think that's it.
Exactly it. I'm sorry.
I think that's how it goes.
It's different in America, Kimmy. It's fine.
And in Canada,
Okay.
too. It's different. Yeah.
I'm already off to a great start here.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to make a joke about those. It's not even a joke, but smart women are hot. So I'm sorry, she has to be queer. She's an academic anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it would be interesting because, as you mentioned in the intro, she's really the OG crazy ex-girlfriend, which is a bit of a tight trope.
Just a bit.
And also, the obsession all of the Forsaken have as with, Luster and Telemon is... Why?
It's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. What is it about him? What is it?
He's just the most powerful dude. He was probably really handsome. I mean, before he killed everyone and everything.
That awkward moment.
Well, that made him hotter.
That made him hotter, Matt?
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Sounds on brand for you, Matt.
Yeah, he was literally the most powerful dude in the world. So, he held high offices, big success stories. He was just cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
He was the Elon Musk of Randland.
I hate you.
Oh no, please never say that.
No.
He's not.
No.
Oh God, I have regrets.
You know what?
This is going to be the thing that gets you canceled, Matt.
Yeah, I'm I haven't threatened to fire you in a long time, but that... Ooh.
Okay, no,
That was
a
rough.
serious question. Which Forsaken would be the Elon Musk of the world?
Agonor, probably.
Yeah, Agonor.
Yeah, probably.
Just doing random ass shit.
The one who thinks he's the most important but dies first.
100%. 100. Perfect. Yes.
I mean, he ruins the entire fucking world first before he goes out. So that's definitely on brand for Elon.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, so let's get rid of the crazy ex-girlfriend trope, and instead, what would be interesting is that instead of her being into Listerine, her being into Ilyena. So that one offense is that Yelena chose Listerine instead of her, and second offense is that fucking Listerine killed Ilyena when being crazy. So like, hey, you took my girl and then you killed her? What?
Yeah, Lanfear goes from being crazy ex-girlfriend to crazy ex-lesbian, and I absolutely love it.
He's like,
I mean, she's not an ex-lesbian.
I don't know if that's better.
I mean, she kind of, Luz Theron and Ilyena kind of did a U-Haul situation, and I get how that would make her mad.
I mean, I'm sorry, straight couple doing a U-Haul. I'm sorry, this is a lesbian activity. This is not
our thing.
Not okay.
Yes.
It's cultural appropriation, really.
Yeah.
Really?
It's, I mean, I constantly think that I am going against, like, the lesbian contract by not U-hauling with my girlfriend.
What are you waiting for, Kat?
That's true. You don't live together.
I know.
We're going to take away your lesbian card.
I mean, do you guys even have like a pit bull or something?
They don't live together.
Yes, we have a pit bull. No, we don't have a pit bull. I'm sorry. The pandemic has us all turned around, I think.
Do you at least have a Subaru?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, they do have a Subaru. Okay.
They do have a Subaru.
We are good.
There is a Subaru.
It's SUV is the same. Is that I don't know cards.
The lesbian day is saved. I always liked the idea of, well, when I say always, like, this is a recent idea, but of Lanfear going after Egwene or Nynaeve, because Nynaeve, she could sense the power in Nynaeve. And I think Lanfear, queer, heterosexual, whatever, is always more attracted to power than anything else.
Yeah.
So she would be attracted to the sheer power of Nynaeve's, abilities, or she would be attracted to Egwene's ascent in, spoilers, the White Tower. And I think there'd be a lot to do with either of those.
For sure.
And in the book, it really never made sense for me that she spends so much time focusing on each of the boys, because up to the last book, she still talks to Perrin. And she's always like offering them power.
And look where that got her.
Yeah, she's always offering them power and glory and this kind of thing. But like all of those boys it's literally the last thing they're interested in. Like, Rand only wants to be a farmer. Perrin only wants to be a blacksmith and for everyone around him to be safe. Matt could be interesting in glory, but he knows it includes responsibilities and he doesn't want any sort of responsibilities. But, I mean, one character among the 5 from Aemon Fields that is actually interested in, becoming bigger than what her birth destined her to be is actually Egwene. Egwene is curious and wants to know more, and she's not really attracted by power directly, but she's interested by how big of a presence she can become in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like that's something Lanfear could try to play with. If she has to drag one of them to the dark, I think she would have a better shot with Egwene, with trying with Egwene than with anyone else. And I don't think that it would work, because I think Egwene is smart enough to figure out that it's suspicious. But Egwene is also kind of a person who always thinks she's gonna win, which means that if she, like, that's basically what they do with Moghedien. Like, she's like, I'm gonna try to trick the trickster. Like, I know that she knows that I know, and I know, like, that she's not to be trusted.
Very much.
Where was that stop?
I do think that, no offense to Robert Jordan, but I think that Lanfear actually making Egwene her target would make the slog books more interesting. Like, side note, I'm not sure if I really believe that the slog exists, because there's a lot of storylines in each of the books that I like.
I agree.
But I do think it exists for Perrin and Egwene. Like,
Yes.
Perrin is
Yeah.
trying to rescue Fail for like 600 books, and then Egwene is marching at the rate of 1 inch per day towards the White Tower.
Mhm.
And I think that Lanfear being injected into that aspect of the story would make for a really fun portion of the story.
Yeah,
It will make for a fun dynamic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Yeah. And it also never really, like, the way that Lanfear is portrayed and the way that she actually, or described, and the way that she actually behaves in the series, it kind of conflicts because she strikes me
Yeah.
as someone who's like very savvy and understands how people click and work, but she keeps going after Perrin and Matt, offering them power when that is not what they want at all. And so, like, you know, like, I feel like there's, I don't know.
The thing with Lanfear is that, like, she only believes in power. Like, that's what's
Right.
gotten her. She's very one-track mind. She just wants power, and unfortunately, she wants to attach herself to someone else to get it.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of want her to break out of that cycle. Like, girl, you can go be evil, badass bitch on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need no man.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it would be really interesting if she also injected herself in Egwene's story, like, as one of the sitters or something in the Rebel Tower. Like, yeah, she would have had to deal with Erengar, who we're going to get to in a minute. But, I mean, that also, they're so incompetent, they might not have known each other was there if they used the Mask of Mirrors.
I was just gonna say, they may not have figured it out.
And they use different powers, so...
Yeah.
Enter Benny Hill
To be
music.
fair, during the slug, we already are in the phase where Lanfear is not Lanfear anymore, but like in the
Right.
new body.
Right.
So it's not
Yes.
even, she's not even the prettiest anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And what is she if she's not pretty?
What is she?
Yeah.
This is a discussion for another time, but I would just take all of that out. I would take the whole her being reduced out. I
Yeah.
would just...
Me too.
I would move up Moraine's rescue by several books and
Oh, for
Lanfear's
sure.
reappearance by several books, and have her play a more pivotal role.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're going to do body swapping in the show.
Me
Oh,
neither.
no.
Would be way too complicated.
God, I hope not.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Especially punishing a beautiful woman by making her ugly and old.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Or punishing a womanizer by making him a woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some yikes things happening.
But just imagine like how fun it could be to read an alternate book where Lanfear is in the Split Tower camp with Egwene and like whispering into her ear, and then reveals who she is after she's gained Egwene's trust and is trying to do what Asmodean does with Rand, like convince her that she's reformed, or that she only wanted power, and that, you know, Egwene's quest is something that jives with her goals or whatever, and like slowly seeps into Egwene, because Egwene, like, she does like power. Sometimes she mostly likes to go beyond where she was born. And I think that the dynamic of Lanfear trying to manipulate someone by using seduction and power would work better it would be more fun to read with Egwene than it was with Rand.
I agree.
And also, like, since you mentioned Asmodean was also a mentor to Rand because he was teaching him a lot of the power. Lanfear is actually very skilled in the dream world.
Yes.
And Egwene's too. So especially in the first few books, before Egwene actually started training with Yael, she could kind of like slip into that part of the storyline and try to build this kind of mentorship relationship with Egwene in the dream world, while Egwene is still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, but that would be smart, and the Forsaken are not smart.
No,
They are not.
unfortunately.
They're going to be very smart in the TV show. I'm sorry to
Oh,
say.
They are. They're going to be fucking terrifying.
I think they're going to be terrifyingly smart in the show, and I cannot wait. I can't wait to see
It's going to be fun.
actually competent villains.
I can't wait to see like what the composer does for the Forsaken's theme, because right now, like I mentioned earlier, when I hear the Forsaken, I just think of that Benny Hill chase song, like Confederacy of Dunces. Yeah.
I have no idea what you both are singing.
Oh my god.
I don't either. I just did like a country twang thing, and I'm like, I don't think I was right, but whatever.
Benny Hill is
Benny Hill? Really?
It's a song.
What's a Benny Hill?
I probably know the song. I'm just saying that you are singing it very badly.
He was a comedian, and he had a theme that was. I'm sure you would recognize it because it's like super iconic. It's one of those things that's really iconic, but you don't know the name of it necessarily.
Yeah.
And it's being used. It's used very often to show that a character is super incompetent, a goofball, can't do anything.
Yeah.
Someone can link it in the Discord.
Anytime you see a video where someone has overlaid music over it and it's someone like sort of running in circles and like can't figure out what to do, it's almost always the Benny Hill theme.
Yeah.
That's almost always what it is. Yeah.
And that's what I picture when I picture the Forsaken trying to do anything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they better be better than that. I'm sure they will.
The bar is low.
The bar is so low for the Forsaken.
It's underground, the bar is.
And you know, Lanfear was actually more terrifying to me when she was Selene because there was this aura of mystery around, and we knew she was bad. We knew she was probably Lanfear. And like the way that she was built up, she's the daughter of the night or something like that in the early books. And it's just, and I don't think that the goofiness is a good payoff because she was built up to be such this horrifying villain. And when we first see her, she's pretty horrifying and she's manipulative. And then she just spends the rest of the book derping around and ends up derping her way.
And as Celine, she has such a presence. Like,
Yes.
And maybe it's just because like she's using I don't remember exactly what she's using, but it does make people more sensitive to like prettiness,
right,
to her beauty. But that makes people kind of very very obsessed with her. But like she has a presence, she has a charisma, and she is someone you want to listen to somehow.
She has charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
She's cunt.
And synergy.
She is cunt.
And synergy. She is cunts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as I was like thinking about Lanfear and especially Egwene, I was like, if anyone ever writes a fanfiction where Lanfear actually tries to go to war like Egwene, I want just at some point Egwene's complaining about some dumb boy and Lanfear just getting into her personal space and saying, oh, maybe she should stop with the boys.
Yeah.
Shuts her up with a kiss.
She slides into her DMs.
You're just losing your times with boys.
Ooh.
Do we have a Lanfear drag queen yet in Twitter of Time?
There better be.
There needs to be a Lanfear drag queen.
Well, there's Manfear.
We do have Manfear. Yes.
We do have Manfear.
But Lanfear, a Lanfear drag queen, I think is... Someone get on that. Get on that Twitter of Time.
Yeah. Whoever's listening, do drag.
Yep.
Yeah, so does anybody have any other comments about Lanfear before we move on to Balthamel?
I mean, I'm just curious, Camille, what were you talking about when she uses something to make people feel like she's prettier?
I don't...
Does she?
I think so, because the thing is that, like, there's several moments where, yes, we know Brand is a teenage boy, but especially when they're in the mirror world, sometimes she's, like, saying something, and then she kind of touch his arm and she's almost not able to think anything that is not what she wants.
Yeah, I assumed that was just compulsion.
I think it was compulsion.
It's kind of a version of compulsion that is a bit weird.
Right.
It's very subtle compulsion.
A subtle one, yeah.
And she is more subtle than Grendel.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone is more subtle than Grendel.
A semi-truck is more subtle than Grendel.
Oh, for sure.
It's just that in the first few books, there's a lot of magical things happening that you don't have the definition for it yet, and then you're not exactly sure that's what's happening. When you discover the world.
I don't know. I didn't, not to be like a dissenter, but I didn't care for Selene that much, mostly because I thought that plot point was really weird.
Okay.
I like the idea of her being someone else, but I I don't like Lanfear like masquerading as someone less than who she is, even if it's for like gain of her end. I want her to just be this full badass bitch.
Yeah, just really lean into it.
Yeah, I think the reason that because I agree though, I like it, but I agree that whole plot was weird, but I think it was in part weird because it didn't go anywhere after the second book.
I think that's what it is.
We never got the Shadow, those worlds again. It was just, sounds weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels like a lot of wasted potential. And I think it's interesting because I know in the fandom, it seems like Lanfear is like the Forsaken for a lot of people, which is interesting to me because, it just feels like a lot of her plot points kind of fall short a bit sometimes.
She's underutilized.
Surprise. And so I wonder if people are imagining like her potential when they think of her, because on paper, like describing her, she's a really cool character, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, poor Lanfear. You deserved better.
Yeah.
Woman being underutilized in the Wheel of Time? Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Sounds suspicious, right?
I don't know her.
I don't know her.
Okay, so do we want to move to...
yeah.
Is that Balthamel?
Balthamel, Arangar.
I never know where the first L is. If it's Balthamel or Balthamel.
Yeah.
It's Balthamel, yeah.
Balthamel? Yeah.
Balthamel.
Not to be confused with Beelzemon.
Yes.
Beelzemon.
I mean, that's not confusing for... Well, I don't know. I hate Balthamel and Arengar's story because of how it was done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think the character is really, really... like, the character of Balthamel specifically is just very, very interesting.
Super interesting.
Because, I mean, so during the Age of Legends, they were a historian that studied, like, vanishing cultures and stuff. And then, obviously, they just wanted power, blah, 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 eternal life.
As you do.
I guess to see cultures vanish? I don't know.
As you do. You know, the usual.
And they were a womanizer and a gambler, which, I mean, parallels.
Matt? Is that you?
Matt?
Not you, Matt.
There's a character in the
Not
Wheel
Matt.
of Time named Matt.
Matrim Cotham.
But it's not you, Matt.
Nothing like me.
No.
I'm better.
But they ran an extensive intelligence network that was second only to Moghedian.
I didn't know about that.
Also, a fun fact, they raised and organized human breeding camps to be fed to the Trolloc armies.
Ah, that was them. I see.
Yeah, he was pretty wrong for that.
Yoicks.
I mean, Agenor invented the Trollocs, but Balthamel was like, ooh, but can I feed them?
No, we need to feed them.
He made the Trollocs thrive. Yes.
Balthamel started the Age of Legends' first pet co, only Trolloc co.
Yeah. Trolloc Co.
Oh no.
Soylent Green.
Oh no.
I do not like that.
Oh no.
I choose to ignore, like, because I feel like this is an entire, well, no, it's not an entire episode. This is the episode for it, I guess, where we talk about Balthamel not being trans representation.
Oh, yes, we need to talk about that.
And if I hear people say that Balthamel is trans representation, I will instantly just leave.
Yeah.
I have had trans people telling me, like, one trans person telling me that. So I'm like,
I know.
It's always a topic that I kind of don't want to get too deep in detail because I feel like I sometimes don't have, like, you know, the proper voice to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it.
We're 2.5 non-binary people. And none of us are really, like, trans, I guess. But at the same time...
Is the half me?
Yeah, you're the half.
Thank you.
I feel like the half was also me.
No!
We're 3/4.
Cat is not a full person. Cat is a who.
No,
Cat is Cindy Lou
I am
Who.
a who.
The Cindy Lou Who of non-binary.
Of non-binaryville. Yeah, that's me.
I do not know that reference.
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss.
Ah, okay.
The Grinch.
Yeah, sure.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
Yeah.
Of course.
No, I know that none of us have, like, fully lived the trans experience, and I have also had trans people in the fandom that like Arengar. I guess I don't... There are aspects of it, like them coming into their sexuality as a woman.
Yeah.
And the end result, I think, is potentially positive trans representation, but the how
Right.
we got there,
Yeah.
that's a whole bunch of fucked up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's at the end of it is still someone that got put in another gender
Yeah.
body in another body as a punishment.
Right.
As
Yeah.
a punishment because it was funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
For LOLs.
Like, I'm not going to, like, if a trans person tells me that they think that Arangar is trans in their mind, I'm not, like, at all going to, like, dispute that. But if I was asked my opinion, because it's not, you know, it's not my experience, it's not my fight to have. But if I was asked my opinion, I would say that no, the fact that he was compulsively turned into a woman against his will as punishment, the lack of consent thing just really bothers me.
Yeah.
But as long as we're queering them, I thought one cool idea would be to have Balthamel actually choose to be reborn as Arangar. Like, maybe the Dark One is happy with what Balthamel did at the Eye of the World, despite losing because it was all unexpected. And it's like, okay, you get to choose your next form or something, and Balthamel does choose Arangar, and I think that would be a cool.
It would be
Right.
interesting to see, like, I want there to be a workaround for it because Balthamel, or the Dark One offering Balthamel a choice is so against what the Dark One stands for.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah.
There would be some detail tweaking to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's the storyline that's almost there. It's almost really well done, and I can see the bits that maybe need to be adjusted to make it good rep. It also doesn't help that once again, this falls into the evil bisexual trope, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As much as I enjoy Balthamel or Arangar as a character, it's unfortunate that yet again, here we are.
And see, the way we can avoid a trope is by making it more common. So if we had, say, 4 prominent characters who were bisexual, and one of them is Arangar, that negates the chaotic bisexual trope. Because you have other more nuanced, like, say you have a hero, like, say Matt Coffin is just bisexual, not like because he's slutty, but just say he's bisexual, it's just a name. And say we have 2 other bisexual characters who are heroes, and then we have Arangar. The fact that we have 3 bisexual heroes and 1 bisexual villain just negates the trope. And again, that's why representation matters, because you can afford to have, I don't want to say less nuance, but you can afford to put more marginalized characters into roles that are either villainous or problematic roles. I don't mean problematic as in let's cancel this. I mean problematic as in they're naughty and they shouldn't do the thing that they're doing. And that's what more representation can do.
Allows us to do. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alas.
Yeah. But like at the same time, so there's a difference, I think, between, because for example, we were talking about, is it a trans representation? So there's a difference, I think, between a representation and a good representation.
That is true.
So
that's true.
I agree that it's pretty shitty in the way it's done.
Yeah.
But it's still a person that lives in... I'm still, for example, I'm still don't know whether Balthamel is a male soul. Well, technically is a male soul in a woman body, so that would make it a trans man. Like, its ideal goal would be to be back in a man. Yeah.
And also still channels Sidene. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, that's a weird thing, because when you get into like Arangar's head, he seems to enjoy more and more his new female body. Which is...
Yeah, and I mean, he enjoys, like, I mean, we all know Arangar eventually ends up enjoying having sex with men, and that's great. And again, I like where we got. It's just the predicament of... I mean, a lot of trans people definitely feel like they were put in the wrong body, and I've heard the argument that it's like some people think that they did something wrong and deserve, like, obviously not, whatever. But the idea of the Dark One punishing someone, it doesn't not correlate to some trans experiences.
No.
But
I can see how it connects, for sure.
Yeah.
But it sucks that it's the only representation.
This is the thing.
Yes.
It's, yeah.
Especially in a world where, like, gender is at the heart of everything, and
Right.
everybody is put in their correct bodies that matches their gender identity. Like, in the mythos, like, that's just
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, for this one thing to be off is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan of it.
Yeah. I think, like Camille was saying, there's a difference between representation and good representation. Like, it's just thinking of an example, like the L Word. That is an interesting show if you've ever watched it. Does it have good lesbian representation? Not always, but it is representation.
The thing is that the L Word, when did it came out? It came out a long time ago.
I know.
We don't so it's something that I hear a lot by, like, for example, younger people discovering queer characters that were in movies or TV show in like early 2000 or even before that, and they're like, oh, this is a very bad thing. This is a bad representation. It sucks. Why did we even like praise that thing? And they kind of forget that, yes, but that was the only thing that we had, and compared to what we had before, it was an improvement
significantly. Yeah, for sure.
And like the typical example that I have in mind is often I see people bashing Glee. And I know some of you also bash Glee regularly. But like when Glee came out, that was the first time I was seeing like queer people in high school in a setup that I could relate to, and that they were not, yes, there were bullying, and yes, there was some like, the representation wasn't always great, but it did have some very great moment. I will never forget the moment where I think it was Finn insulting Kurt because Kurt was like too feminine. And then there was Bird, like Kurt's father, coming in and like basically protecting his son and being like, what the fuck did you say to my son in my house?
Yeah.
And having this man that is like the typical masculine man protecting his son, that was very important to me. And I think it's so typically with the L Word, it's the same thing. Yeah, is that amazing representation? Probably not when you're looking in the perspective of 2022.
Yes.
Right.
I agree.
It's just like how I can't watch like Will and Grace that much anymore.
Right.
Like that was the big one for me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I snuck and watched it because I was like, it was literally the first time there was a series about just a popular series about gay people.
Yeah.
So I like snuck up, like watched it in secret, and that was a big deal. But then watching it now, I'm like, this is stereotypical as fuck.
I agree. Like, as a Glee basher, I always bash Glee because Leah Michele is just a rotten human being.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, she got like 4 to 6 standing ovations at Funny Girl. 4 to 6.
Well, it's a good thing she didn't have to read them.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Rachel Berry.
And like, I dislike how they push, and I've talked about this before, like when you're including diverse stories, do you seamlessly weave it in to the narrative, or do you make it a very special after school episode? And Glee did that so much. But like Camille said, it was a different time.
But that was the only type of queer representation that was also allowed to be shown on TV.
Yeah.
It was.
Right, you have to be a caricature. No, it's I don't think any of us are like saying it was bad for its time. I think we're just saying that we expect more now, and we're also putting today's standards on that show, which can be a little difficult because that's not something that we like to do. But at the same time, things have changed so much in the past 5-10 years.
It's like when I see people suddenly finding out about Legend of Korra and reaching the end of it and saying it's queer baiting. I'm like, no, it's not queer baiting. They wanted to have a kiss there. They were not allowed to. It's not queer baiting. Right. It's how it was back then.
What movie?
Yeah. The Legend of Korra.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to say, like, we have, like, there's such a problem with, like, media literacy today. It's like we assume and social media helps with this a lot, but we assume that our experience and the time that we live in is the most correct time, and that anything that came before is bad, problematic. Any flaws are to be looked down upon and a reason to condemn the show. And this is not speaking for everybody, obviously. I'm hoping it's a loud minority, but people forget that, the best intentions are always going to fall short of the future. Like, there's a novel, Maurice, written in 1920, and it features a gay man who gets a happy ending. And I think it was the first novel that ever featured a gay man having a happy ending. It wasn't published until 1972, but it was written in 1920. If you tried to publish it today, it would be criticized for being derivative, for essentially having nothing interesting to say, and having a bad sort of representation of gay men as all closeted or effeminate. And you just, yes, with some people, like with H.P. Lovecraft, who was racist even according to his day's standards, yes, you can absolutely judge the past by today's standards in some cases. But in a lot of cases where it's just people trying their best in good faith to portray something, like with Glee or the L Word, it's just ridiculous and intellectually lazy to say, no, we're going to judge this by today's standards because we're perfect. We are the pinnacle of development of civil rights, and thus anything falling short of that is bad, and we're going to call it out as such. So that's my addition to the rant.
And I'm sure that if anyone listened to all of our episodes in like a few years, they'll be like, oh, this was so bad, this was so incorrect and not good by today's standard, because tomorrow's standard will be different from today's standard.
Of course.
They're mostly going to be saying that about, like, the horny shit I say all the time. Like, it's mostly going to be me.
Always.
It's going to be some stupid shit like, oh my God, James is like, is pushing these sex jokes on us, and I didn't consent to this, and I am literally being sexually assaulted by these jokes right now, and let's go attack James and cancel him. Like, that's what it's going to be in 2 years, probably. Who knows?
Cancel me, Daddy.
And me for saying this, for daring to say this.
For silencing me.
There'll be cancels all around.
Today's episode is not Matt saying Matt's going to get canceled. Today's episode is Matt saying we're all getting canceled.
We're all getting canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Yeah. Do we want to talk about Balthamel anymore? I mean, we haven't said much because we've said everything.
And there's not much.
Yes. That's the other thing.
Yeah. So we do want to start our game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go for it.
I'm going to have this game in two parts. This is it's a very special type of igloo bond balefire, but due to the nature, we can't do too many of these. I only have two, if we want to make it fun. So I have an igloo bond balefire, and you can do one of two versions, and the version we do not do today, we can do in the next episode. You can choose the light side or the dark side.
Ooh.
Do we want to choose the dark side because it's a Forsaken episode, or do we want to balance it out with the light side?
No, let's go
dark.
Let's go full.
Okay.
So, instead of 3 characters, and instead of Igloo Bond Balefire, it's going to be 3 locations.
God help us.
3 different locations from the series.
Okay.
Igloo Bond Balefire. Igloo it's like a one-night stand. You're just going to vacation at this spot.
Okay.
Bond is you're going to move there, and you're spending the rest of your life there. Balefire is the only one that stays the same. You get to Balefire 1.
Okay.
So you've chosen the dark side. So we're going to get the most evil places.
Oh, no.
And the light side is going to be even tougher because you're going to have to destroy a fan favorite place. Your choices for vacation, live, Balefire are Shadar Logoth, the Ways, and the Sanshan Empire before the invasion of Randland. Unreformed Sanshan.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
I just thought it would be fun. A different way to do this.
Can I go first? I would balefire the Ways because they're super corrupted, so it's like, okay, let's get rid of that. I'm pretty sure we could manage a one-night stand, very quick one in Shadar Logoth. If we're quick enough, that should be fine. And I'm sure we can find a nice place to live that nobody's going to pay attention to us in the Sentient Empire. Like, it's a big place. You pick on some part of the rural part, and I'm not a channeler. Nobody's going to annoy me, okay?
Assume you're a channeler. All of you.
Ooh.
Sorry, I'm just so sadistic.
The glee on Matt's face when he said that? My God.
Okay, so I want to balefire the Shanshan Empire because it's the most evil and corrupt. However, they're also oppressed as fuck. So it would be like balefiring Texas as a whole when they don't deserve that.
It's a very good...
I love that.
I couldn't live with myself if I did that. So I think I would balefire Shadar Logoth, live in the Shanshan Empire, and have a one-night stand with the Ways. And I would want to, just because I think that would be fun, like, adds a little bit of risk to it. I don't think I could balefire the Shanshan Empire. I would want to try and, like, grassroots campaign it and get killed immediately, but still.
Yeah. You'd be Elizabeth Warren.
I'd try.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I think that's where I'd go with it.
Okay, Kat, your turn.
I would absolutely balefire the Shanshan Empire. I would just... Nope, you gotta go. It's a whole lot of slavery.
Yep.
It's a whole lot of slavery.
Yep.
Yep.
I would live in Shadar Logoth because I feel like you could have a very contained nomadic lifestyle within Shadar Logoth. So you just keep moving as the shadows creep in. You just gotta keep moving. I think it's doable. And then one night stand in the Ways, it seems doable. I think you could work that out. That's doable.
This one was hard for me. It's an easy balefire Shanshan Empire for me as well.
Yeah.
The slavery thing's a no-go.
Yeah.
I can't decide if I want to vacation in Shadar Logoth or the Ways, or if I want to live in Shadar Logoth and the Ways, because Shadar Logoth is so lovely with all the dead things that lurk in its streets. But the Ways is just filled with such a pure blackness and a darkness that's impenetrable, and it's so mesmerizing. So it's like I guess with the caveat, like, you can go back to somewhere to vacation. I would choose the Ways as a vacation because what they don't have going for them is that there's no, like, permanent sleepy place to, like, sleep. Whereas there's plenty of buildings in Shadar Logoth.
Yeah.
And assuming Mashadar is, like, bad, I could just, I don't know, the book Mashadar, just, like, flick it away, just go, just blow on it, and it'll blow in another direction.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
So, James, is that the Ways are impenetrable that killed you, or is that something else?
It was impenetrable.
Yeah, I know.
James is 12, y'all.
As soon as Matt said it, I was like, oh no, James is gonna...
It's impenetrable like your bussy.
Okay. So, I think that's it for today.
think that's it.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Queers of Time podcast. If you liked our show, please give us a review on Apple Podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Queers of Time, and you can join our Discord server. If you're able, we'd love to have your support through Patreon. We've got a lot of nice benefits there, and this helps us cover the cost of producing the podcast. Thank you. Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.